All right, y'all, we are on day 8 of Avatar previews, and it looks like some neat stuff's here. Looks like quite a few cards, so I'm probably going to hit most of the rares and mythics, and then if we see some cool commons or uncommons, we may hit those. Anyway, cards. The Great Divide Guide. 1 and a green for a 2/3 human scout ally. Each land and ally you control has tap, add 1 mana of any color. Wow. This card's great. I mean, like, literally. I mean, one, it's a 2/3 for 2, so it's already above size. Not only does it give the ability to any land, it gives the ability to any ally. So basically, everything is a ramp creature at that point. Yeah, this card's just good. I don't think there's much more to say about this. Invasion Reinforcements. 1 and a white. It's a 1/1 human warrior ally with flash. When it enters, create a 1/1 white ally creature token. I thought this was worth mentioning because there's the other reinforcements that does the same but makes a soldier token. So it's kind of neat that we're going to have this card in standard pretty much the whole time. And for a while, you can play both of them if there's a situation where you need a bunch of flash token creatures. But yeah, this card, it's fine. Nothing crazy. But if you just want a flash creature to play maybe after your opponent sweeps the board or whatever, or you need to get multiple enter the battlefield triggers, like this will do that for you. Benevolent River Spirits. Blue for a 4/5. All right, so anytime you see that, a very low cost for a high power toughness, you know there's going to be a downside. But this is a spirit creature. As an additional cost to cast this spell, you Waterbend 5. So you pay additional 5 or tap 5 artifacts and or creatures. It has flying, it has ward 2, and when it enters, it scries 2. Okay. This is interesting because it's a drawback, but mostly because you can't really play it on turn 2, right? Like turn 3, maybe if you've made. No, you wouldn't even be able to do it on 3 because you have to Waterbend 5. So the best case scenario is probably turn 4 for this. And then at that point, it's kind of okay. It's still a 4/5 flyer with ward, and you get to scry 2. So it will have some value for sure. Is the type of card that maybe you want to waterbend, or airbend, so you could blink it out and then recast it and get that value, like possibly. So this is a card that's really interesting because on its face it kind of looks like, you have to work really hard for this. But if you can get it to the right deck, then it's possible you're just playing this over and over cheaply and you're getting the scribe benefit while having a big hard to remove blocker. So there's probably something going on with this card. Crashing Wave. Blue for sorcery. As an additional cost to cast this spell, Waterbend X. Tap up to X target creatures and then distribute 3 stun counters among tapped creatures your opponents control. Ooh, boy. It's a sorcery, so there is that. But this is kind of a strong effect. There's already been a big chunk of the, what we'll call the mono blue tempo style decks running around. If this is a thing, this is the type of card that, even for just, say, 5 mana, you tap down 3 creatures for 3 turns. That's pretty significant, honestly. This is one of those ones that's going to be either really playable or complete trash. But I think it falls on the side of really playable. Knowledge Seeker, 1 and a blue, Fox Spirit, has Vigilance. When you draw your second card each turn, put a +1/+1 counter on this card. When it dies, create a clue token. I guess the problem is right now, I need to at some point sit down and figure out what are all the best draw your second card, get this ability thing. Because we have more quality creatures and enchantments and stuff than will actually fit into a deck. So is the Knowledge Seeker good enough because it grows and it has Vigilance? I don't know, possibly. And when it dies, it gets you a clue. So there's all types of value on this for just a 2 mana card, which is great. I just don't know. It's probably playable, but it's not a card that I would say is mandatory, at least at this point, if you're going to play that type of deck. Obsessive Pursuit. That pretty much explains the whole theme of Avatar. It's a black and 1 for an enchantment. When this enchantment enters at the beginning of your upkeep. Oh, when this enters and at the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 1 life and create a clue token. Whenever you attack, put X +1/+1 counters on target attacking creature, where X is the number of permanents you've sacrificed this turn. If X is 3 or greater, that creature gains lifelink until end of turn. Wow, this card's pretty quirky. I mean, there are a lot of things that want you to make clues or whatever in this set, so that's a thing. There's a few cards that let you sacrifice artifacts or creatures, so you could do that. I mean, there's probably a world where this is decent, but not anything I think right now is great. But it does actually just generate a clue every turn as well. That's something else, which is you technically lose life, but you're getting a clue, so then you get a card potentially for the one life, which is probably fine. Also, if you have a way to make food with other stuff, like that becomes easier because you can still sacrifice the food and get a thing. Yeah, I feel like this is the card that could be in a deck if you're willing to build with this in mind, but I don't think it's just going to be one of those ubiquitous cards in a bunch of aggro decks. Rockalanche. 2 and a green for a sorcery that's a lesson. You Earthbend X, where X is the number of forests you control. And it has a flashback of 5 and a green. Alright, this seems pretty straight up, right? You just pay 3, turn a land into probably a 3/3 or something. And then later on, you just get to play it out of the graveyard and make another creature. I mean, this seems fine. I mean, later in the game, obviously, the longer the game goes, if you're playing a bunch of forests, then you get to just get a creature above rate, like a 3 mana 5/5, 3 mana 6/6. So, like, yeah, if you're already doing Earthbending, this is a fine inclusion. Though, there is one thing to note that some of the Earthbend cards, if I'm right, did care about lessons. So, this is a lesson you can play that already does what the Earthbend cards want to do and can still be in your graveyard to trigger those other things. We have the Hermetic Herbalist, green and a blue, so 2 mana for a 2/3. Human Druid ally, tap add a mana of any color, tap add 2 mana of any color combination if it's spent to cast lessons. Fine, I guess. If you're doing a green or blue based lessons deck, we don't know what those are going to look like right now. But if you are, then this is totally fine. It's a 2 mana 2/3 that just makes it easier to play a bunch of lessons. So, yeah, I'm here for this. The Airbender's Reversal, 1 and a white for an instant lesson. You choose one, destroy target attacking creature, airbend target creature you control. Okay, this is just solid, right? Like you destroy something big that's attacking you, or you can blink one of your own things to reuse something and get another effect. So yeah, this is one I could actually see getting a little bit of play. It's got both offensive and defensive capabilities, which are good, right? You destroy attackers if you're playing against non-creature decks. Then when they go to sweep the board, you're like, all right, I'll at least airbend my thing so it's not here. And then next turn I just pay 2 when I have the creature again. Earthen Ally, just a single green mana for an 0/2 human soldier ally. This creature gets +1/+0 for each color among allies you control. You can pay 2 mana and Wooburg, so that's 2 white, blue, black, red, green, to Earthbend 5. But it looks like you can just keep doing it, so that's interesting. Huh. So it's never going to be a high toughness, which is the tough part. It doesn't get +1/+1, it gets +1/+0. So that's the first thing of note to pay attention to. And then it gets +1/+0 for each color among allies. So you're wanting to play a 5-color allies deck with this, which already puts you in a little bit of a restriction. However, a 1 mana even 3/2, even if you're going to play like a 3-color allies deck, is actually not terrible. And then you can still have multicolored lands that could let you trigger this as well. So maybe it's not trying to make it into a 5/2, but the goal is to make it a 3/2 or a 4/2, and then take advantage of its abilities late game. That's probably what I would try to do with it. But yeah, this is probably an okay card. We'll have to see how the ally decks shape out, though. The Wall of Ba Sing Se. It's 8 mana for a wall that's a 0/30, my goodness, with Defender. Other permanents you control have Indestructible. All right, well, this card itself doesn't have Indestructible, so that's cool, and you can get rid of it. 8 mana is kind of a lot, and 0/30 is huge, so you're not going to punch past this. But giving everything else Indestructible, that's pretty damn strong. So yeah, this card, the effect is really big. The reality of getting it into play, that's probably still pretty low. Ba Sing Se, I was told this was not a real place. This land enters tapped unless you control a basic land. You tap it for green, or you can pay 2 and a green and tap it to Earthbend 2. Activate only as a sorcery. Wow. So it's a land that's actually, okay, there's a few things here. One thing to note is that it is a named land that is not legendary. So that's already a benefit, right? You can just play however many of these you want, not worry about messing up your mana base. It does still tap for green mana, so it doesn't hurt your number of green sources. But if you have nothing else to do for your turn, you're just like, okay, well, I guess I'll just turn a land into a 2/2. Or just make my 2/2 into a 4/4, because you can put the counters on any land. It's just the land again becomes a creature, and you put that many counters on it. Yeah, this card just seems strong. Honestly, I don't know. Like if I'm playing mono green, even I'm probably playing at least two of these, if not three of these. I mean, these are arguably this is arguably better than playing the creature lands, right? And any deck that can support it, because while the creature lands do have additional abilities, you do generally have to pay like 4 mana, 5 mana to activate these things to get their ability. Where this is, you're just like pay 3, make a 2/2. Great, you kill it, I'm just going to get a land back, right? Next turn, I have a 4/4. So then on, you're only paying 3 mana, whereas for a lot of other lands, you're paying 4 or 5. I kind of dig this, honestly. Like, it's hard to argue against this for me. Judy, one of many. One in a black for a 2/2 human advisor. You can pay a black and tap it to Surveil. Create a token that's a copy of this creature. Then sacrifice an artifact or creature. Activate only as a sorcery. Okay, so a 2 mana 2/2. You pay a black, you tap it, you get to Surveil, but then you make a token copy of this card, and then you sacrifice an artifact or a creature. So if you don't have anything else, you just Surveil and then sacrifice either of these, the card or the copy. But if you have other stuff, you can sacrifice other things, and now you can just Surveil every turn and just get more and more. So a little bit of a weird card. Kind of cool, kind of interesting, but very weird. The Legend of Kyoshi, 4, green. So it's a saga, chapter 1. Draw cards equal to the greatest power among creatures you control. Probably good if you're playing some type of Earthbend deck. Chapter 2, well, Earthbend X, where X is the number of cards in your hand. There you go. That land becomes an island in addition to its other types. That's interesting. And then you exile the saga and it returns as Avatar Kyoshi. No surprise. Lands you control have trample and hexproof. You can tap, add X mana of any one color, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control, and it's a 5/4. Yeah, this is one that just nothing to complain about. I mean, it's 6 mana, so there's that, but you're likely drawing, I would guess, minimum 2 cards, probably as many as like 5 cards. Then the next turn, you Earthbend for probably 4 or more. And then you get a 5/4, 5/4, that also gives those lands that you've been building up over the last couple turns, trample and hexproof. Yeah, this is fine. I'm here for it. I would play this. Kyoshi's Battle Fan, 2 mana for an equipment. When it enters, create a 1/1 white ally creature token, then attach this equipment. The equipped creature gets +1/+0, equipped for 2. This is okay. I mean, it's a 2, like if you're playing an equipment deck and you want to just make sure you have your stuff equipped and stuff triggers for each equipped creature or modified creature. All right, you're paying 2 mana to get a 2/1 with some upside that you could move this around. So like, fine. I don't think it's greatly better than a lot of other equipment, but if you do need some cheap equipment that actually do something and get you bodies, this could be the one for you. Zhao, the Moonslayer, 1 and a red for a 2/2 human soldier with Menace. Non-basic lands enter tapped. That's kind of strong. 7, put a Conqueror counter on Zhao. Okay. As long as Zhao has a Conqueror counter on him, non-basic lands are mountains. Oh, so this is make your own Blood Moon. Or Blood Moon at home, as some of you would say. 2 mana, 2/2 Menace, make non-basic lands enter tapped is pretty strong. Now, it's just a 2/2 with Menace, but there are some red decks I could see willing to do this because you only have a couple of non-basics, and it does slow down a lot of the 2 and 3 color control decks pretty heavily. This card's actually very likely playable. Now, the late game option of being able to turn non-basics into mountains, that's a whole other thing, but still has value. Nothing to ignore because that is real and will probably come up more than we think. But yeah, this is fine to good. I think you're going to actually see this get some play for real. Yeah, I don't know. This preview day was kind of weird. I feel like we got the new best creature land and the best new mana creature. Yeah, this set, oh my gosh, there's just so much more we can do with this set every single day previews come out. So I don't know. Y'all let me know. Am I crazy? Am I overthinking the Ba Sing Se thing or what? But I'm sure y'all let me know. But hey, don't forget, like, subscribe, all the good stuff. And check out our new video. We just put another one about all the different templates you need for building your different Magic decks. So check that out. But that's all I have for now. We'll see you next time.